Today on the Statesman's Table, we're going to be talking about the Odyssey.
Welcome to the Statesman's Table.
Okay, just to get right into it, out of 10, what do you think?
I would say it's very hard to give it a 10, but I would call it 9.5, 9.6, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's in that 9 range, but really like all Christopher Nolan movies, it has these few problems that are just kind of there the entire time and make it difficult to be a 10. But like Christopher Nolan, so clearly
Amazing.
the best.
It was
best
the best
filmmaker of all
director.
time.
The best director, definitely right now.
Yeah, at least right now.
Yeah.
Like who's his competition in all of film history? Spielberg.
Spielberg, I don't even like most of his movies.
I think Nolan is definitely more consistent.
1,000%.
Yeah. So into his filmography, do you think this is the best Nolan movie?
It would be close for me. You have Interstellar,
Mm-hmm.
you have The Dark Knight, you have Memento. All these three are great. I think that right now it's hard to tell, but the legacy that this movie has going forward, will tell whether it's better than Interstellar. Because Interstellar, Dark Knight, and Memento all hit they weren't just okay. This movie's out, and then in 6 months it's forgotten.
Right.
Like people are still talking about Interstellar today.
Yeah.
People are still talking about The Dark Knight today.
Right.
And so, if the Odyssey is just as big, and not that public perception makes a movie good, but it's how the public interprets and reacts to a movie.
Yeah.
And if it's greater than Interstellar, then I believe that this might be his greatest film.
Yeah. So you think this is better than Interstellar? So for you, it's entirely based on audience reaction?
Well, no, it's different because Interstellar is like this kind of, twisted, like intellectual. It's like you have to really think.
Would you not call the Odyssey intellectual?
No, I would say the Odyssey is intellectual, but Odyssey is way more straightforward. You tell me Interstellar is not straightforward at all.
I'm actually not sure I agree with this because I watched Interstellar last night, and I think the Odyssey might be more or less straightforward.
I don't think so.
In terms of messaging and story and how things come across, Interstellar is very it follows a formula very much in that it's rising action, there's a climax, Matt Damon betrays them, and then he saves the world, and it's very much like you can see it all coming. Like it's very predictable as you go through.
Are you talking about the Odyssey right now or Interstellar?
Interstellar.
Well,
I'm talking about Interstellar.
You said Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because when Matt Damon betrays them in Interstellar, yeah. And then in the Odyssey, it's very much what's Odysseus' motivation? Does he really want to go home? It's about what's going to happen when he gets home. Like there's much more and I think with that the messaging of the movie is a lot deeper in it because in Interstellar the message is told to you, like the two main messages are told to you. It's that motivation does make actions and that love is a force beyond human survival. And those are explicitly told to you. The message in the Odyssey is it comes really close at the end to telling it to you in that he destroyed civilization with his trick in breaking Zeus's law. But it is a little deeper than that because the message of the Odyssey is a complete reversal of the poem. In that in the poem, it's about how great a trickster Odysseus is, and that that tricking people and lying and deception is this amazing tool for warfare and strategy. And in Christopher Nolan's movie, it's the exact opposite. It's that these lies and these deceptions.
I think it highlights the mental toll that deception takes on the person who ends up gaining power through deception.
Right.
That's the whole. I think that's the whole message of the film because that's the whole reason he doesn't return home is because he's too. Not that he's afraid, but he's like, look at what I've done. Right.
He's just so guilt-ridden, and so I think the message is buried a little deeper in there. I think it's still crystal clear, but I think it's in Interstellar. It's explicitly stated. The messages are explicitly stated, and so I would argue that it's a little more straightforward.
Well, I think for the average person, if you only saw Interstellar once, and if you only saw the Odyssey once, you'd be like, okay, this is like you're an average IQ person. Interstellar, you're like, what? And then in the Odyssey, you're like, okay, he makes it back home. That would be like the average interpretation. So I mean, like intellectual people will see the Interstellar and be like, yo, love transcends the most powerful like powers in the universe.
Right.
But to the average person, they're gonna watch Interstellar and be like, what is going on? They're now in this time warp thing, and like, it'll take them a couple times watching it, I believe. As with the Odyssey, I think you can get the message of the story without watching it 6 times, or without pondering it for who knows how long.
So I think to that point, the average person is going to understand the message of Interstellar before they understand the message of the Odyssey, because Interstellar explicitly states it. But both main messages, it explicitly states at least once, and the Odyssey never. It does. He does explain his thought process and everything, and he explains how his actions have led to the destruction of civilization. But it's never the lying is bad. We should never lie. That Interstellar has with motivations make actions, and love is a power that transcends.
I'd like to have a poll out. I wonder how many people would actually.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people would actually take that away from Interstellar, because I bet it would be a small.
Right.
I bet it'd be a tiny percentage of people who actually watch the movie.
Okay, but then do you think people watching the Odyssey are going to take away?
Actually, here's what it would need to be. It would need to be like a multiple choice poll, and you have like 4 different themes on there.
Yeah,
and you get that what's the highest of what everybody sees.
Okay, I'd be interested
because if someone had to fill in their own, I mean, who knows? They're gonna be like, bad guys die, sea people, whatever.
Right.
Because you gotta think most people aren't very smart. And so, but I would be interested to see how many people actually take that away from the Interstellar. Okay. Because I bet a ton of people are confused. I bet a ton of people are confused.
Yeah, but I bet.
And I think that its complexity is what has made it such a it's why it's still in the popular sphere today, which I think was a great. That's what I'm saying. It would be a tie between the Odyssey and Interstellar.
Not The Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight is great. It's probably one of the best Batman movie of all time. But I don't know. I watched The Dark Knight so long ago. That was a great movie, but the Odyssey really blew me away. Oh, the Odyssey was, I mean, it was amazing. It was like almost 3 hours long. It didn't even seem like it. It was like, dang, it already ended kind of thing.
Okay, this reminds me of another takeaway I had from the movie. Any movie longer than 2.5 hours needs an intermission, because I needed to pee. For an hour of that movie, I was sitting there just it was uncomfortable. Most of the people around me got up, went to the restroom. The end of the movie, there was a long line. It needs an intermission. I love long movies. Yeah. My favorite movies are all very, very long.
I personally have never had a problem with this, because I usually go to the bathroom before the movie. Right. And then I don't even really drink or eat anything during the movie. So for me, it's not a big deal. I will say, the Batman that came out a couple of years ago, that was extremely long. But that was more of a slow burn. I mean, the movie is extremely slow. We can get to that later, but it was extremely slow.
Okay, once we're done talking about the Odyssey, we'll talk about the Batman.
So then I feel like, okay, that's when I was like, this is long. But with the Odyssey, there's constantly something going on. There's constantly, I mean, even in the parts where there's a lot of dialogue, there's still a lot of moving. There's still a lot of things where you have to be like, oh, Robert Pattinson's character is actually having an affair with the servant girl, and you're taking that while they're having a dialogue instead of it's just 2 guys talking. I feel like there's a lot. It keeps you engaged. I feel like the Odyssey kept me engaged a lot more.
Yeah. I would agree. So let's talk about flaws in the Odyssey now. Obviously, casting.
Casting is the biggest flaw in this, not because it's extremely historically inaccurate when we come to casting, but then also they just don't make sense for the characters. I feel like the only Okay.
So I think I'm going to be defending a lot of this casting because the only thing I have a problem with is Ellen Page playing a male soldier, like a young male soldier. Yeah. She looks like an old woman.
Yes.
Playing a young male soldier. It's awful. It defeats the message of the movie is about how lying tears apart civilization, and when you break the social norms of society, society falls apart. And then to cast a woman as a man, a woman who thinks she's a man, pretending to be a man, it just like it. I don't. Okay, I'm really confused.
I don't know why they made her, the focal point after she dies. It's like, oh well, she's the one that talks to Odysseus in Hades, and he takes her name whenever they go, and he comes back to Ithaca. It's like, I mean, why does she need such a big part in this movie? I mean, maybe that's just the world we live in now that you can't really get past that. I mean, really, if you want to receive funding, I'm sure you have. I mean, there's probably higher powers that enforce things like this.
I've heard theories about like it's Oscar bait, but like it takes it out of the movie, and it's such it's a minor detail in the film, but it makes the message it's the opposite of what the message is.
Yes.
You spend the whole movie about how deceit is wrong, and that to live in a just and good society, you have to have social norms, and you have to be honest with one another. And
the casting itself is a deception.
Yeah,
it's a deception of a deception because Paige herself is being deceived that she is a man.
Yeah.
And she's deceiving the world that she is a man.
Right.
And then we put that deception into the movie, which itself, the message is all about what toll deception has on those who gain power from it.
Right.
And so it's unnecessary. I mean, at least it wasn't as big as like the main plot of the movie. Sure, it's like it's something you can look past and still say this is a great movie, but that is an extreme flaw.
I think Ellen Page is the only flaw in the entire movie, and it's such a big one. I think she is what separates this from being a 10 out of 10 movie and a 9 out of 10 movie. She is what takes it down to Nolan's maybe third best film or second best film.
You think it's that big of a?
Oh yeah, I think if she was recast with just any man, it would be Nolan's best movie. And if she was recast with any man,
I was thinking, what if they would have casted it with Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland's roles reversed?
I don't think that'd be as good.
I don't know, because I feel like
they were both so incredible.
I think they were good. Robert Pattinson plays a good villain, but I feel like if they would have made Robert Pattinson, what's his name? The son's name? Telemachus. They would have made him more of a person that you would want to follow, because through Tom Holland, you're like, well, he's kind of weak. He can't make it without his father, which maybe is part of the story.
That's the point.
Yeah. But I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like I would have liked to see Robert Pattinson in more of a heroic role.
So have we ever seen Tom Holland play a villain? Because I can't think of a movie where he plays a villain, because he's so good at playing a young hero who defies expectations, and he's just so good in that role. I would not want to see those change.
Okay, I didn't like to see how he just got the part where Odysseus comes out in the basement, and there's a guy that runs up, and he's breaking through, he's throwing spears, and Tom Holland's he does all this training,
right?
And he goes through this arc where he's like faint, like you're leaving yourself open,
right? And
then bro just gets obliterated for 20 minutes.
That's how he beats him at the end of the fight, though. He wins the fight eventually. He has to struggle.
But he struggles so much, and you would think that it's like, okay, you have went on this arc.
He grew up without a father.
He's fine. He had the old guy, and he had the other guy, who was a strong warrior. I just would have liked to see him. I was sitting there the whole time, I'm like, bro, just kill him already. And he would go up there, and he has a sword, and he goes up there and decides to push him. And I'm like, bro, just stab him. He has your back turned to him.
So you don't like the build up and payoff kind of thing. You just want to get straight.
Well, also,
do you like the Star Wars sequels?
Well, also he gets stabbed, and then he gets stabbed in the stomach, and then nothing ever comes of it. He's just I recovered.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think you get stabbed in the liver, and you're just I'm good now. Now that my dad won,
I mean, it depends on where you were stabbed. You know, you can lose a kidney.
Yeah, but like
you have two of them.
I just like would have made more sense if like they would have had like a fight, like one big fight scene instead of like him getting like thrown and then he's like laying there and then he comes back and he gets thrown again. Like if they would have one big fight scene and he's just like slashing the dude's throat, or like even like if he did the thing where like he did the tactic, that would have been. I think that would have made that scene a little bit better because then it'd been like, oh,
he did the tactic at the end.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he just stabbed him in the throat.
He opened himself up, and then the other guy lunged at him, and he stabbed him in the throat.
I don't think he did. I think he went for one of the. He looked like he was going for like one of the spears, and then he was like.
Right. Yes, that was him opening himself up for an attack, and then he saw the attack coming that he planned for and made a counterattack, which was like the lesson.
But I feel like it was too drawn out. I mean, right now we're being extremely nitpicky. Like this is a great movie overall.
Right.
But I would have liked to see a better arc for like Tom, because I enjoyed Tom Holland's character so much. I wish he would have just went up there and just like obliterated that guy. Like, because then it would have been like, okay, well now he's strong. He's taking after his father. He figured it out.
But then you never would have really seen him lose. Like he needed to be beat into the lesson for it to pay off as much. I don't think it'd be as good if he just went up and won the fight.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I guess
we'll never know. Except he does win in the end. You know, he becomes king.
Right.
His father takes his place, goes into exile, or his father and mother go into exile.
Yeah, which I think is a pretty good ending.
I think it's a great ending.
Yeah, it's not how the poem ends.
We don't. Okay. I know there's going to be people out who are like, "Oh, this is not like the poem at all." But it's like this is an adaptation.
Right.
This is not the poem in movie form.
Right.
This is an adaptation based off of the Odyssey. And this was such a good adaptation that it doesn't matter how accurate it was to the poem. Because it was so good that I'm not who cares? Who cares? Like we were talking about this earlier, but the Christianization of the film makes the story so much more better.
Oh yeah,
it's extremely better. Like
so I think every change they made from the poem, every change that I recognized was a really good one, because in the poem Odysseus is this great trickster and deceiver, and a large central point of the poem is that his biggest flaw is pride, not his deception. His deception is actually a tool, and it's what gets him out of everything, and it's him being clever. And and I think that change from Christopher Nolan's versus Homer's is a reflection in ancient Greek society versus modern Christian American society, because it goes to show how the difference in a Christian worldview versus a Greek worldview in like lying and cleverness. And what I pulled out of it is every change made reflected that. It was the Odyssey being more Christian and less ancient Greek, and it never abandoned the Western roots that we still see in our society today, but it abandoned everything that we've cut off from our society today, and it made it this great Christian epic instead of this great Greek epic. Like even in terms of all the gods in the movie are shown as weather or as like figments of Odysseus's imagination. Spoilers.
Yeah.
As representations that haunt him.
Speaking of
they're
that,
not seen as.
I know people had a problem with Zendaya being cast as Athena. I don't, because of because of towards the end. Spoilers. You know, you see Athena all the time, like consoling, talking to Odysseus, and then you realize that when they took Troy, they beheaded a girl who was the Zendaya character alongside cutting out the head of the Athena statue. So that's why she comes as Athena. So she's not really Athena.
Right. He just views her as this representation of destroying religion and the gods. It's a representation of his defiance to gods that he must now submit to. And like another large part of the story is him submitting to a higher power that's greater than himself. In the poem, it's about his defiance and it's human centric. Like this is like every change is just it's a Christianized Odyssey, and it's so incredible, and it just makes it so much more absurd that they cast out
and like the the Calypso.
Mm-hmm.
They left out the part where he willfully like
Right.
has sex with her
Mm-hmm.
for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
They make it seem as if she is drugging him with the lotus flower and keeping him there against his will.
Right.
Which is more of a Christianization than the pagan self-indulgence that was in the poem, which I think is a great start. Because if someone who hasn't read the poems, they're like, okay, he's here, he was drugged by this woman, but he realizes he needs to get back to his wife and his family.
Yeah,
this is his redemption. This is his redemptive story, which is completely regardless, like opposite of the poem, where he's just in this addictive cycle constantly until he finally had enough. And so I really like that pulling away from the original poem.
Yeah, like in the original poem, a large part of it, it's not really a focus, but it's that Penelope is doing the right thing and being loyal. Odysseus doesn't have the same obligation, and that change is very much what I would consider to be a Christian idea, that a husband's role and a wife's role are very equal. Maybe not the same in what they do, but they're very much equal in obligation, and it's that the husband has the same obligation to his wife that the wife does to him, and it's just such a good change.
Yeah, I mean, in defense, in Greek times, the king could do whatever. I mean, even you can see it in the Bible. David and Solomon and Saul, they had so many concubines and all this stuff besides all their multiple wives.
Right.
But I like how we really modernized our the ethics of the Odyssey. I really liked that.
It created a story representing the values of ancient Greek to a story representing what at least should be the values of modern time, not necessarily that they are.
The values of a good leader.
Yeah.
I think that because, you see that, I think that this also had undertones of what it takes, like truly the toll that it takes to be a leader of men.
Right.
There are so many times when his men try to defy him. They question his leadership roles, and he has to find it like a counter way.
Right.
Like whenever they were heading towards the whirlpool, and he knew there were monsters in the cavern, but his crew had doubt in him, and they were already defying him. So instead of telling them, guys, there's a monster in there, we have to go that way, he was like, no, let's go down the whirlpool and come out the other side. And they're like, no. But they would have they wouldn't have done that if they would have knew the monsters were inside the cliffs. So in their defiance, they actually submitted to his role as a leader. And then once they figured it out, he resumes his role as leader for the rest of the movie.
And I may be wrong about this, but to my memory, in the poem, his men don't really defy him. Like when his men die, it's his fault, not the men's. And I think that's another good change, because it makes Odysseus this great modern hero, not this flawed protagonist. And I think that works so much better for the story that Christopher Nolan is telling, for his guilt and for the structuring of society. And so, and that goes to another message I've heard some people talk about, in that this is a pro-immigration movie, because like Zeus's law, be kind to everyone who asks for kindness.
But it's
about the abuse of that.
Yes, it's about the abuse of you allowing people into your home.
Right.
Because eventually, the law is good on the surface, but eventually the whole story is that when people start to abuse this, the law no longer applies.
Right.
You have a right to kick out the people who are taking advantage of you. You are allowed, you have dignity. And people will abuse you if you don't hold up your standards.
Right. It's the much more like classically conservative view that people that like some immigration is good, and we should treat immigrants with kindness when they want to be a part of our society and they want to contribute to our society. But when they're not doing that, they're taking advantage of that, and that's not a matter that it's necessary to follow this kindness, because they abused it first.
I mean, even the suitors, their whole, like, it's not even about Zeus's law. Like, they aren't coming because they're travelers.
Right.
They're coming because they want to be the next king.
Right.
And that is their motivation is inherently abusive.
Yeah, they're taking advantage of the system. The story is fully about how immigration can be taken advantage of and ruin a society.
Yes. If not enforced.
Right.
If not enforced. if you go out and you just let everybody in and you say, well, hands off, you're going to end up with the situation that we see in the Odyssey where the abuse continues for, what was it, 20 years?
Yeah.
Constantly. They're beating up people. They're disrespecting the queen. They're disrespecting the people who live in the house already. They disrespect Tom Holland's character, because all the time, and they can't do anything about it. But the whole moral of the story is that you can. Right. And you were justified in doing that. In doing so, you will be justified, because Odysseus isn't killed for killing all the suitors, which is what they deserved it. He is he is exiled, but that's what he wanted in the end, anyways.
Right. And it's so this is just so easily the most conservative movie I have seen in theaters in my lifetime.
Yeah.
So easily the most conservative movie I have ever seen in theaters. And even despite of the casting, it's still it's a great conservative masterpiece because it touches on dishonesty and immigration and what it means to be a rightful ruler. It's so amazing. And then he ruins it with Ellen Page.
Okay. In defense of Christopher Nolan, in the 21st century,
he just wants another Oscar. Is that?
I mean, I think for you to get the funding that was needed for this film, I don't think that there was a way. I mean, maybe he could have downplayed it a little bit more than it was. There probably had to have been some diversity in the movie. I don't think he would have had the same funding if everybody was straight white, how it probably. How a true adaptation would have been of the Odyssey.
Well, Greeks aren't white. A true adaptation would be.
Well, actually, ancient Greeks were more blonde. They had blonde hair and blue eyes. They were. We see
ancient Greeks?
Yes, we see this in all the DNA, all the depictions. It's just
I've never heard this.
You've never heard this?
No.
I mean, have you not seen depictions of Alexander the Great?
I have, but they've always been very Americanized depictions. Same way.
No, even ancient
Jesus
depictions
has always been blonde hair, blue eyes.
The ancient depictions from the Persians have always had them as being fair-skinned, light-haired people. The Greeks who came and swiped through half of the known world at the time. So I mean, today there's been a ton of admixture from the Arabs and the North Africans. So of course, and especially as them being the conjoining part between Asia, Africa, and Europe,
right?
Obviously, it's going to be a huge melting pot ethnically. So now today, Mediterranean people have more darkish hair. Maybe some do have lighter eyes. But I think in ancient times when cultures were more homogenous, we would have seen a more Aryan-looking-ish Greek population.
Okay.
I just think so.
I don't have enough information to argue about this.
So. I was just, even if you look at the haplophyte groups, I mean, the ancient Yamnayas, who are the people who populated Europe today, which, I mean, they would have been the precursors to the modern Greeks and the modern Germanics and the modern Celts. They were all fair-skinned people with light-colored eyes. And so, but I mean, that's besides the point. You couldn't, in today's world, in today's Hollywood, my point is that you couldn't make a movie with all blonde hair people, all blonde hair, white, straight people. Yeah, I just think you can't. I think that you can't receive the amount of funding that was needed for the Odyssey and do that.
Sure. I'm just looking up ancient Greek people, and everything I'm finding is that it'd be consistent with modern Greek people.
I don't think so. I think the admixture has been heavy. I mean, you got to think it's been 2,500 years of admixture with Turks and
I don't have enough information
the Mongol invasion. Heavy.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not researched. I guess this is something I need to look into.
I mean, it's not that big of a. I mean, obviously, ancient Greece is not like Greece today. Ancient Greece was more hegemonic. It was more homogenous than it is today. That's an undeniable fact. I mean, maybe once Rome conquered it, they would have gotten a little bit. I mean, maybe a little bit more Germanic influence, but ancient Greece would have been extremely homogenous.
I mean, as ancient societies go, it probably wouldn't have been.
No, I think it would have
been. In relation to its time, probably not.
No, I think so. I mean,
Well, because the entire Mediterranean area was the reason Greece was so influential and powerful and able to have these great
because of
ideas
his
and
trade.
philosophers. Yeah, and they were
But
trading
that
with
doesn't
the
mean they have.
entire Mediterranean
But they
area.
don't have an influx of the immigration that we see today that's completely changed the diversity of entire cultures.
Yeah,
Cultures
yeah,
tended to stay. I mean, obviously there
yeah.
was
But like
probably
Alexander the Great wasn't Greek,
he was Macedonian,
right?
but that's still in the that's in the northest part
Well,
of Greece, anyways. So if you want to say that people get whiter as they go north, or as they
right,
go more north, then
right. So your argument about Alexander the Great always being depicted as very white and like blonde hair, blue eyes, that would lend the idea that he was invading with like a um, whiter like army and civilization, and he made the civilization more white. No,
I don't think. I mean,
okay, this is entirely besides the point of the
I
Odyssey.
mean, I don't think maybe you have enough information where. Well, that's like my point.
Okay.
To go back to my point, I don't think in today's Hollywood, with how left leaning it's got, I don't think you could make a movie that was truly like ethnically like how the Odyssey was.
So is this movie of the year?
As of right now, yes.
As of right, what do you think can beat it? Dune 3? Spider-Man?
If Doomsday, if Doomsday, if Doomsday is if they, I that's the only movie that could. I don't think they will.
Wait.
I don't think they will. But
You
Avengers
think out
Doomsday
of Spider-Man Brand New Day, Dune 3, and Doomsday is the most likely to beat it?
Okay.
Because I feel the opposite.
Spider-Man is going to be good.
Yeah, Spider-Man will definitely be good.
Spider-Man's going to be good.
But I think there's no way it's
But
bad.
they're going to make him a cuck in the movie.
Is that what you're getting from the trailers?
I mean, that's kind of what it is. He's like watching Zendaya, and she's like, kissing up another guy, and that's gonna be like,
And then
whatever.
his eyes turn black, and he defeats a whole room of ninjas.
Yeah,
I know that's so wimpy of him.
But it's like
you could do that in your sleep. I mean,
it's just kind of like, I know that she has to forget him, and that's like a part of the whole thing. But like, I don't like the part. I hope that they don't lean into that too much. I hope that like she ends up like they end up getting back together, or whatever. It's not like he's not like a cuck
really,
the entire movie.
You want them to get back together? So I can't decide if I want them to get back together because then, like, if he tells her that he's Spider-Man, that takes away his sacrifice from No Way Home. But then again, I like them together. Like it's
I think obviously he wants to be with her.
So I think it would be good if she died in No Way Home or a Brand New Day. I think if she died, that would fix the problems of like not having the sacrifice, but also like them having a good ending. Because right now it's kind of like it'd be difficult to like if he doesn't tell her, then half of fandom's gonna be mad, and if he does, the other half's gonna be mad because it does mess things up. I don't know.
Well, I know in the trailer he like comes to her apartment. He's like, "I have to save you. Come with me." And she's just like, "Okay." It's like, I mean, hope like maybe that's a thing where it's like, oh, that she's gonna fall in love with Spider-Man, kind of like how like the Gwen thing happened, where they like kiss in the. That may happen, which I mean that might be cool, and then eventually like she falls in love with Spider-Man, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm Peter Parker actually," and then maybe like he never does tell her. Maybe he never does tell her, but they end up together in the end.
Okay. I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't mind that.
I've heard from test screenings that the ending is really controversial. Like test screenings are like the movie was great. The ending, whew. I don't know.
Do you know if the ending is more about like is it about like the plot, like
I have no idea.
Plot, or okay?
All I've heard is that the ending is controversial.
Who are the central villains of this? We don't know yet.
We don't know yet. That's the big mystery of the trailers.
Well, I know there's a guy called like Scorpion or whatever, but there's no way he's the main villain.
Right.
There's no way
because be a beginning fight.
Because he looks too weak. He's way too weak. And like maybe it's I don't even see the Hulk being the main villain. That doesn't make really much sense. Unless
what we know is it's some mind control villain. And so my best guess is that they're gonna mind control all these different things to be like big fights throughout the thing.
And then he ends up taking out the mind control guy towards the end.
Well, right now it looks to be a girl. Mind control girl. Theories are leaning to Jean Grey. Others say like Spider Woman or
your prediction. Is there a cliffhanger at the end of this movie, or do you think the Spider-Man trilogy is resolved?
There will definitely be room for more movies, and I think the ending of the movie will contain itself. But I think the post-credit scene will very much be you need to see Doomsday to understand anything that happens next.
Okay,
I think that's what's going to happen.
Now, will you be watching all the Avengers prior to watching Endgame?
I haven't decided yet.
Or not Endgame, but Doomsday.
I haven't decided yet. That's I don't know. I still need to watch Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. I haven't seen those yet.
I haven't seen those either.
And I'm going to watch them before I see Doomsday. But because I've heard they're pretty good, but I just didn't see them in theaters. They were the first MCU movies I didn't see in theaters for a while.
Did you watch Superwoman?
Supergirl?
Or Supergirl?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It was good?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
It was fine. It was a good movie.
I know. I know a lot of people didn't like it, or like my buddy. I don't know who's like. There's like a character in there who was like a side character, and everybody's saying like they should have just made a movie about him instead of her.
Oh yeah, a Lobo movie would have been so much better. Yeah. So the movie is watching for the 10 minutes of Lobo. Like that's the takeaway. Yes, because he's so good. Yeah. He's so fun, so good. The movie is worth watching for that.
Okay.
But the movie's fine. It's not a great movie. It's better than like The Incredible Hulk or something, or like early MCU movies.
The Incredible Hulk is a low bar.
Right.
It's a pretty low bar.
Right, but Supergirl is also the second movie in the DCU, and so you got to compare it to like The Incredible Hulk was the second movie in the MCU. So like it's better. It's better. So far the DCU is better than the MCU.
Where does the DCU go after Supergirl?
Clayface is coming out in October, November, and then after that is Man of Tomorrow, and hopefully the Batman movie will come out sometime soon.
Well, they delayed it for like another year.
No, I meant the DCU Batman movie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Batman too.
No, I'm not looking forward to that. I'll watch it in theaters, but
back to the Odyssey. Does the Odyssey's overwhelming conservative tone project that America is leaning more to the conservative side, that popular culture is now making a shift to the right?
No, I think Christopher Nolan is just more conservative than the rest of Hollywood, and he's such a good filmmaker.
But do you think that this piece of art will have such an influence on the American populace that we will see maybe a more shift to more Christian Western values?
I think it will have an influence, but I mean, I'm not optimistic about it.
Okay.
I mean, are you? What are your thoughts?
I think if the public perception is really good on this, it's very conservative, but maybe besides the casting, obviously, but a very conservative, moral movie. This is just a nice breath of fresh air from what we have seen coming out of Hollywood for the past 20 years. And all this. Let's even talk about what's on Netflix. Like a kid can go on their mom's Netflix account and basically watch nudity.
Yeah,
they could watch Too Hot to Handle, Love Island, all this junk. This is just slop.
Yeah,
and then we get something like the Odyssey. That's like a complete breath of fresh air.
It's so good.
Obviously, I think the turnout for this movie is going to be insane. I think a lot of people are going to watch it. I think this is going to be one of the biggest movies in the past 5 years. Yeah, 5 or 10 years probably. Definitely. And so we may see more of this shift of like, okay, this is really what we were wanting. This is what America has been yearning for. This is something that we haven't seen coming out of Hollywood in so long. And maybe this will spur a shift into more of a culturally conservative America than what we see.
All of Nolan's movies are relatively conservative, with the exception of really only Oppenheimer, I think. But like Interstellar is pretty conservative. The Dark Knight is a very conservative movie. It's just his filmmaking, and those movies didn't have this wide impact that we would wish, but it's a step in the right direction.
I feel like the Odyssey will be. I feel like the Odyssey will be bigger than the Dark Knight, though.
Really?
I think it will be. I think that's my prediction.
You think a movie based on ancient Greece is going to be bigger than the biggest superhero, the most popular superhero in all of human history?
Well, that's just my hot take. That's just the feeling that I have. I just have a feeling that the Odyssey will be one of the biggest movies of all time.
So do you think, box office wise, you think it will be bigger? Because I would agree with that. I think
I think so. I think so. And then I think the public perception of this movie might take it further. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. I think public perception will be better than The Dark Knight, but because I I love The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is the best Batman movie, but I am a Dark Knight criticizer because of what it has done to Batman. Because it's not a great movie, and it's the only reason the Batman exists. It's because people think Batman should be this grounded street level character, and that's not a good Batman. It's such a bad Batman. It's a dumb Batman, and it made Batman's no kill rule the center of his character. And while I think it's important, it's not the center of his character.
No.
It's the center of his character is him being the peak human. And the no kill rule is an extension of that, because along with his peak physical and mental abilities, he has the peak
morality.
moral. Yes. Yeah. And so when you have a stupid Batman who doesn't kill people, that's so much worse than a really smart Batman who does. Because it's just pathetic to watch. He doesn't do anything. This isn't a hero. This is some guy in a costume. And that's why I despise the Batman. It's so bad, and that's why I'm not a big Dark Knight guy, even though it's pretty clearly the best Batman movie. I think it's done so much damage to Batman as a character, and really the superhero genre as a whole.
So do you think we could ever get in your opinion, a more comically accurate Batman? Do you think we'll ever get that?
I'm hoping the Brave and the Bold that James Gunn's DCU is working on. That's what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Because it's supposed to be with Damian Wayne, his son, and that's what it's looking like right now. It's looking like a otherworldly beast of a man Batman. Rather than this wimpy little kid dressed as a bat running around the street who has one cool fight scene.
So you would like to see the peak male physical Batman.
Yeah, physical, mental, moral. That's what I want. And so this is going to be a hot take of mine. I think the best Batman shouldn't have a no kill rule. They should have a no execution rule. Because it's really hard to get cool fight scenes like they want.
Yes.
And being oh, they all survived.
Yeah. Well, because, I think morality, death and morality aren't mutually exclusive.
Right.
In certain situations, killing somebody is going to be more moral than leaving them alive to do hurt later.
Well, so that's not even what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm saying that I think Batman should have a no execution rule.
Yeah.
I don't think that Batman should ever kill the Joker. Yeah. Because that's a job for the courts. Because he needs to be tried, he needs to be executed. Yes. It needs to be lawful. And that's at the heart of Batman's character. He's a Boy Scout. When it comes down to it, Batman is working with the law. He's the reason he doesn't kill bad guys is so they can face a trial. So they can be executed by the state, not because he wants them to live. Yeah. It's because he wants the state to do its job, because he believes in structure and government and things. And that's why I think it should be a no execution rule, not a no kill rule. And that's what I think Ben Affleck's Batman did pretty well, because the Joker was still alive, but he was throwing things at these guys in a warehouse in Batman versus Superman, and that just gives you way cooler fight scenes, and it gives you. You then don't have to, you can still argue the morality of I'm not going to execute anyone without being limited in this guy was shooting at me, I can't just die kind of thing.
You can't limit your fighting capability based off of, I'm not going to kill this guy, and so then therefore he can use lethal force and I can't.
Right, yeah.
Kind of thing. Because then that makes for a weak fight scene.
Right, yeah. That I know this is going to be such a hot thing, but Batman's rule should be no execution, not no kill. Because
now is Batman's no kill rule, is that fundamental to the comics, or
it actually changes a few times? But generally speaking, it is pretty simple.
So we could see a movie where Batman does kill.
We have seen multiple movies,
but we will see a more outspoken. We're not going to see movies where it's this is Batman's only rule, and this is the central theme of the entire movie.
I doubt that, because I think most people disagree with me.
Yeah.
In that. Most people view his no-kill rule as central to his character, and I just it's central to his morality, and his morality is central to his character, but it's not. I just have it another step removed, because I think what it comes down to is in Doctor Who, there's this really great line where the Doctor is talking to a bad guy, and he's like, "Good people don't have rules. Bad people have rules, because they would break them if they didn't, because it's the doctor. I'm butchering it, but something along those lines. And I view Batman as fundamentally the same character as the Doctor, because he can do anything. Like, he has these rules and morality that grounds him to stop him from being this ultimate force. And I think that's the distinction between no kill and no execution, because the no execution is him breaking rules. It's not like some accident that might happen. Like, it's not him failing to save someone kind of thing. It's him working as hard as he can to execute morality in the most just way. And that's where I think Batman is best. That's it for today. Stay tuned for the Spider-Man review coming soon.